September. No. So we're dealing with especially if you get on the course number tomorrow. Yeah, they brought them out. Yeah. Your siblings? Half, two half, one kind of slowly becoming out. Like early in the morning? Kind of. Yeah. So you're responsible for the school. So, yep. So just that'd be great. Rented a little van or whatever and locks the last stuff up. So we're hoping to be able to sell it. Hoping this guy is going to make our offer on it. What's house is a family friend. So I would just, he would take care, he would empty it out that we don't, the stuff we just leave behind. Yeah, so far it's easier to have somebody than me going back and forth and dealing with it all the time. So, yeah, so. Yep. So I'm just waiting for that. But yeah, that's where we're going. We were flying down the road. Find anything crazy like from your childhood? This stuff was like, even some of the stuff was like accumulated from my dad's uncle, like a lot of antique stuff and everything like that. So, all this stuff is like
we're going to start in a second.
Okay. Yeah, so much stuff. Yeah. We had to go we got this antique app or whatever, take a picture of something really what it's worth. Yeah. Some of the stuff are like antique spare. It's so real. As long as it's on the something. My favorite is almost got like consistency.
Like you what time of day?
Huh?
What time of day?
Maybe top always crispy.
Please.
Maybe. That sounds good. Yeah. Definitely good. Some of the stuff. Sometimes it would know. I think that's all right. What it is. Like but sometimes I knew I had it though. But we have a piece of I mean, I knew that was I knew that was I think I do too. We found it was in a house somewhere, but yeah, we found it. So stuff like that's like you see it in the house, like it's like you have that sort of it's not like working but it's worth stuff to do. Put in because I mean, there's stuff from like selfies of what caffeine from what this was from sorting not trying to out about it. It's kind of interesting, but I mean, some of the stuff we do was there in like a case of having space. Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, rather. It was a fabric. Yeah, no, yeah. So we did that. We went and the kids, three kids. So they went to the house. We all went there. And they went to the house to find stuff they might want.
Sometimes with the
they found a bunch of stuff they wanted. So we found stuff.
Sometimes a good rain year.
Yeah. So now it's just to the point where it's like there's still a little bit left.
Yeah,
it's box, not a whole lot, and it's more like real furniture. We don't want there's more like furniture. Some of the stuff.
Okay, yeah. This is the last month. It doesn't hang around.
I'm on house.
Either way.
Well, I didn't know it was like back in like 94. We were like 47 or something.
Yep.
But her mom was there too. Or at least his three brothers. So there's one that was like down, but the others were close.
Yeah. It's always said because we have like a really hot sun.
Yeah, it shows them some methods.
You know what? Right.
what we kind of have.
Right. Yeah. That's the same with Sterling Heights. I mean, that's super low. It's simple.
I think with which there's, okay, let's see.
Just to let you know that he's gonna probably stand over there or something. Yeah, okay, so, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, not to go away here.
It might be able to be on the other side of Gino there.
Yeah. Because we're not gonna be in our shot here.
Yeah, you're good next to Gino.
Here, I can stand
Yeah,
up
here,
here.
the room there. Yeah.
No, we might not, you won't be bad.
Gino's taking us.
How'd your drone story come out? Those were neat.
Those were so cool, yeah.
I'll be like,
I had a good time over there. I'm trying to get an inspector to let me have a drone. I won't be there with it.
yes.
I assume they're from the church.
They got this pretty secure.
Right. I'll take it.
Do this and go home and some work out. Get that 6:30.
Yeah.
No later than 8.
I'm all ready now, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maurice Davis. I'm a civil rights attorney. I'm attorney representing Ms. Tracy Allen. We're here today because my client, Ms. Tracy Allen, was shot 6 times by a Detroit police officer. 6 times during an encounter where she posed no physical threat to that officer. There was no justification for the use of this deadly force. She survived, but she'll live with those lifelong consequences, that physical pain, that emotional trauma, and the lasting consequences of that moment for the rest of her life. Let me be clear, this case is not about being anti-police. It's about accountability. It's about the United States Constitution. It's about seeking justice for my client's violation of her rights. It's about the basic principle in this country that no person, especially an innocent civilian, should fear being killed during a routine traffic stop. A routine traffic stop about a plate violation or a tint or speeding, whatever the officer used to justify pulling my client over, he was not justified in shooting her. On the day of this incident, my client, Tracy Allen, was terrified. She truly believed she was going to die. No one should ever be in that situation. No one should feel that their life can be taken without warning and without consequence. The lawsuit that we filed yesterday seeks justice for Ms. Allen. She demands accountability from the officer who pulled the trigger. She demands accountability from the city of Detroit for a pattern and practice of deliberate indifference and a failure to train that officer. We're suing the officer in his official capacity and the city of Detroit for employing this cowboy who violated my client's civil rights and shattered any sense of safety that she has. The officer chose to use excessive force, and that choice led to my client being shot 6 times in various places throughout her body. The law requires accountability and answers. This case is about more than Tracy Allen. It's about sending a message that violence against innocent citizens must stop. Police officers, they are entrusted with enormous power, and that power comes with responsibility. When that responsibility is abused, the courts are the proper place to ensure that accountability. Ms. Allen, she sits here today, she's a survivor. She's strong, she's courageous, she's a mother of 5. She's standing up for herself, she's standing up for her children, and for every person who believes that their life should not depend on a split-second decision made without justification. And we look forward to presenting our case in court. I want to give Ms. Allen an opportunity to describe how she felt that day. She'll touch a little bit on what happened to her, but mostly on how she felt that day during that encounter with the police officer. Yep. Let's scoot up a little bit. Ms. Allen, take your time. I know it's going to be hard, but tell the press where you were going that day and how you felt when you initially were pulled over by that officer.
I was going home. I was leaving Walmart.
You were getting some things for your children, right?
Yes.
Okay, you grabbed some Halloween
Costumes.
Okay.
And was on my way back home.
Okay, and then what happened?
I got pulled over. As I was getting pulled over, I asked God to protect me as I was getting pulled over.
You felt something wasn't right initially?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And then how'd you feel during the encounter when the officer walked up?
I didn't even understand why I was getting pulled over. So he explained it why, and I disagreed.
Okay. And at some point, the officer escalated, right?
Correct.
He pulled out a firearm.
No. Not at that point. He asked me for my license and registrations and proof of insurance. I gave it to him. My insurance was on my phone. I guess I was moving too slow for him.
Okay.
So he began to try to argue with me. We went back and forth, and I asked for a supervisor several times. He didn't give it to me, so I dialed 911. I told the operator that I feared for my life and asked her to stay on the phone with me. After that, he called for backup. The backup officer pulled up and pepper sprayed me. At that point, I was already outnumbered. So, I put my vehicle in drive, and I pulled off.
And not towards officers or anything, correct?
No,
Okay. And then at some point, talk about when the officer opened fire.
I was on.
What were you doing?
I was on my way to the police,
Okay.
and they blocked me in. Once they blocked me in, first he was in front of my car, and he ordered me to get out. He had already had his gun out, so I thought I was going to get shot in my head. So he moved from the front to the side. As he moved to the side, he asked me to get out the car twice. I shook my head no.
And he's
Yeah.
pointing the firearm at you,
Yeah.
correct?
That's when he began to shoot my truck up. As he shot my truck up, I pulled off. I didn't know I was hit until I got to the light. After I got to the light, I kept going until I made it to the police station and told them that he shot me.
Okay. How'd you feel?
Thought I was gonna die.
Any questions?
First off, really sorry this happened to you, Tracy. As you look back on this situation, well, first, how long were you in the hospital for, and what's going through your mind as you're in the hospital, suffering from these gunshot wounds, and still in police custody? Because they took you from there to the DDC, correct?
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
Well, after I refused to talk to the investigators, they took the phones and stuff and told me I couldn't talk to nobody. So after that, the police set it outside the doors until I guess the blood had stopped. And then after that, I went to jail. I didn't get no reason why I was going to jail. All I knew I was going to jail was, I asked the officer, and he told me, the two officers that was in front of the door, I asked them what I was going to jail for, and they said they couldn't tell me. They was new to the case. So basically, I was just going to jail because I was going too slow to give him my insurance. That's all I knew that I was going to jail for.
And as you're in the hospital, what's running through your mind? You said they took your phone. Have you been able to get in contact with kids, family?
No, nobody knew I was shot.
How frustrating was it when you heard the narrative in the beginning of what happened? You were probably thinking that's not what happened, you know? How frustrating was that?
I didn't know what happened until I got to the jail, and the officers told me that the officer was hanging from my truck, and I said no, he wasn't. That never happened. And they told me I'll have my day in court.
When you were first pulled over, what gave you the indication that it could be kind of a dangerous situation?
When he told me about my plate,
Was it the officer's demeanor?
yeah.
Okay. Just leave it there.
Did the chief of police reach out to you when you finally saw the video, or?
No.
The chief, he did. He said that he was initially told some preliminary information about what happened, and then later came out and said the body-worn camera footage of the incident was in stark contrast to what he was told happened. And he even, I can't remember what he said verbatim. It had like a message for you and said, like, listen, we're getting her out of DDC. The charges against her are going to be dropped. Do you think the chief deserves any credit for how he came out and tried to clear up the situation that happened that day?
Yeah. I'm actually glad that he stood on business, but that still doesn't justify me getting shot.
How are you doing today with being shot 6 times? How are you feeling?
I would be lying if I told you I was okay. Mentally, I'm not. Physically, I'm not.
How are your kids doing? I mean, how do you explain that to them?
I haven't explained it to them.
Do they know what happened?
No.
What's your recovery been like? Because I mean, like looking at you, you look great. No one would probably imagine that you've been shot 6 times and what have. Walk me through what your recovery's been like, Tracy.
It hasn't been great. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's nerve damage. I got permanent marks that's never gonna go away on my arms and my legs, both arms. So it's not something that you can just roll over.
You lost feeling in your hands, correct?
Yeah, like right now, my hand is cold and my other hand is not.
Where were you shot? Was it your arms and your legs?
Yes.
You initially drove to the precinct after the shooting. When you arrived, what was their demeanor like? Were they more accepting? Were they quick to offer you medical care?
When I got there, their guns was out on me, all of them. And I told them I was shot. That's when they got to surrendering first aid and cutting my jacket and stuff off.
From the time that you arrived to when they gave you the aid, do you know about how long that might have taken? I know it's probably pretty hard to guess times.
Well, once I told them that I was shot, that's when they surrendered first aid. Well, the lady officer surrendered first aid.
So when you drove up to them, they already had their guns drawn?
Yeah.
Those
Because
officers were watching, what would you say to them?
I'm sorry.
They're watching this right now, or if you were, what would you say to them?
I don't have anything to say to them at all. I mean, I basically.
Everything's said in the lawsuit. Lawsuit's filed. They're gonna be served as office servers with our process server. The city's gonna be served. I expect sometime within the next few days. The officer is gonna be served as well. So the lawsuit, the complaint speaks for itself. She'll have her day in court.
Who's listed as the defense? The officer and the
And Officer Zachary Melton. I'll give you a copy of the complaint if you need it.
He's the only officer that fired the shots?
Yes, as far as my knowledge. The city hasn't released any body cam footage that I'm aware.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you know the status of
We
the
filed a FOIA request and it's been extended and we haven't heard anything. So now we'll move to the discovery process during the lawsuit.
Have you been in contact with the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office and where they stand on this case?
I have not. I would urge them to file criminal charges against the officer.
Have you heard anything about any internal investigation, in DPD, or how they might be handling this if they are reviewing the incident?
I have not. We've sent letters. Like I said, we filed our FOIA request. We notified them that she's represented by counsel. She's been represented for some time since this incident, and it's been crickets. They were pretty silent about even naming the officer who committed this heinous act against my client. The silence is deafening.
Did you just wait to file it now, just time to gather everything?
We were gathering information.
Where did you get the number from? I believe it was 25 million.
25 million, that's, my client is going to be affected by this for the rest of her life. She's potentially looking at surgery. She has children that she's not able to provide for. She's in therapy. 25 million sends a message to the city. It sends a message to the police department and police departments across this country that this is not going to be stood for. You will be held accountably one way or another.
Since the incident till now, have the officer been disciplined in any way?
I don't know. That's something I would like to know.
So just to be clear, they've given basically no communication?
No communication. We've heard nothing at all.
A part of the information that you're trying to get on the officer, is there like a history of him responding in similar ways or in other incidents?
I don't know. I'm going to get that information during the discovery process as the case proceeds. We're going to get his entire history, his entire officer file, and we're going to see if he's been involved in any type of incidents. It was hard enough getting his name in order to file the lawsuit.
This is a federal case?
It's a federal case, yes. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Can we just, without the microphones, can you just kind of show us your injuries again?
Yes, you can do that.
Just standing right there.